Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Broadchurch. What happened last time? Tom was in the box, and then, Jocelyn had to deal with that, and then Mark was in the box, and they had to deal with that, and Ellie, I did love, Ellie just laying waste to Tom, and making him feel such shame for what he's put Mark and Beth through. And then, 20,000 other things with Sandbrook, but I can't be bothered to recap all of that. I don't know. Something with Claire, something with Lee, something with Ricky, something with Kate. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But one of the bigger things, I suppose, is Hardy got a pacemaker. He got his pacemaker, so no more bad heart. No more broken heart, as he said. And also we learned that that Jocelyn is losing her vision. So there's also that. Also her mother died. So yeah, that falling, man. You gotta be careful about falling. That shit can mess you up, apparently. So between this and that one girl and Zoro's backstory in One Piece... That's right, I made a One Piece reference. Well, we get started on this episode of Broadchurch. Here we go.
And then when you meet that person, you know it's true.
It is bugging me that hair is in her eyes.
You're only really whole when you're with each other.
And now I can't stop looking at how many times she's blinking. Oh, thank God. Whoever's here.
What doesn't?
Love, one half always loses the other.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
It's all right.
No, it's not.
Shh, 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 shh.
Okay, so it was Alec. That's the trade-off, is Alec slept with Claire, but he got that hair out of her eye.
When I woke up, I was alive, and I didn't really expect to be alive.
Meh.
And the first thing I felt, angry.
Hmm.
Really properly angry. For the Gillespies, for Pippa, for Lisa. I hadn't felt that angry in years. It's a beautiful feeling. Because I was worn down, I was tired, I was beaten.
But now, your heart can take that anger.
Did she ever tell you she was pregnant?
Oh.
When? Why didn't you ask her?
Was it his?
You wrote a cheque from the joint account you hold with your husband for £1,000 made payable to your sister. Is that correct?
Yeah.
On the condition that she help you frame your husband.
Nobody framed Joe. He was there. He killed Danny. He confessed.
After you beat him up or before?
Don't listen to her. Everybody here knows that he killed Danny, and I wish to God I could help to stop it.
Don't lecture the jury, PC Miller.
Good job, Miller. You blew it again.
I was caught.
Meh. Bad. Meh.
You bribed your
I did
sister.
not
Why
bribe
didn't
my
you tell me
sister.
that before?
I lent her money, and she made a statement. They are two separate things.
Oh, come on, Miller.
Look, I'm a
You're
human
sure
being.
that could get
I
put
made
together?
mistakes, and I'm bloody sorry, but I'm not the one who killed the child. They were going to shut the case down. She said she knew something, but she needed money, and I did not know it was going to be Joe.
Oh, that's all right then.
But it's going to be all right, though, isn't it? 'Cause they've got enough, haven't they, the prosecution? They've got enough
I
evidence.
don't know. It could go either way. Juries are funny animals.
I love how the subtitles can't fully comprehend what Miller is saying sometimes, so it'll just say indistinct.
I used to follow her a little bit.
So he was the
Where were you
stalker.
on the night the two girls disappeared?
Meh. It was a loud-ass phone. Meanwhile... Was that Claire? You can't have sex on the beach. Okay, that's not what they're going for.
What do you want to tell me?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Jeez, this is a crazy thing to film.
Was the baby mine? Was the baby mine?
Okay, there's the next question. Oh god! Oh my god, this is a dangerous scene to film, man.
This one's very pro-you. Sits up and does a little smile every time you get up to speak.
Quite right, too.
This one is not so impressed with the police evidence.
I smile every time Jocelyn speaks.
No, I don't care about them. As long as we've got 3 on our side, they can't get a unanimous
Here we
verdict
go.
or a majority. Now, how did you know to look at their joint...
So, they need a majority specifically. It's not unanimous, I think. Is that what they said? Damn. What a perfect way of visualizing that. Yeah, it's just shit right in front of her.
It's a short walk from the dock to the witness box. I've counted it to be 13 steps. You may think that if you're falsely accused of a child's murder, you'd make that short walk. You may even think you'd run there to reassure the jury of your innocence. But when given the opportunity to give his own account and explanation of the evidence against him, when given a chance to protest
why won't he
his
go in the
innocence,
box?
to shout it from the rooftops, he chooses to stay silent. You can be sure Joe Miller murdered Daniel Latimer.
That's it then.
I always loved watching your speeches.
Oh, here's another Better Call Saul shot.
Thank you.
My boy can't appeal his sentence. So, you and your shitty justice system could both go to hell. The Crown needs you to be sure. They've given you a version of events, but there's a compelling alternative version of what happened that night.
There's too many people involved with that.
Mark Latimer had just engaged in illicit sex with a newfound mistress that had a profound effect on him.
But there's too many people involved in your story. It would have to be Mark, and it would have to be Nige, and you'd have to have Miller having an affair with Hardy and the sister, and all of this, and the bribe, and all. There's too much. But
Mark ends up killing Danny. Can you be sure that didn't happen? You also heard evidence that best friend
So,
helped him out of a crisis.
this is the bullshit of it all. And she knows, she hates the justice system the way it is, and she's using it. She's using it now to her advantage. But it's basically, there's a 99.9999999% chance that it happened the way the prosecution told you. But that one little sliver.
There's no burden on the defense to prove anything. There's no obligation on the defendant to give evidence. You are the judges of fact. You must put aside any emotion and approach this in a cold, analytical way.
But they won't, because they're human beings. That's the immediate flaw of the jury.
I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
It's a thank you for pulling me back into the world.
Have I done that?
No, you have.
Is this going to go any further?
Something else. Something I should have told you long before now.
This is the person.
I'm in love with you, Maggie. Ever since you came here.
What am I supposed to do with that now?
Nah.
Do you really think I didn't know?
Nah.
Well, why didn't you say anything?
Because you never did. I thought if you really feel that strongly, you'd be brave. You wouldn't care what people thought. But your work mattered more.
I thought it did.
Okay,
What's wrong?
you could have met her halfway, though. You could have, nudged her a bit. Oh, hey. Paul.
Are you okay?
Oh, God. Now he's getting into this.
I was in trouble once. I was living rough. I'd sort of hit rock bottom.
What did you do?
I stopped and turned around and faced the demons I've been avoiding. There was no other way to go, so I fought back. When I'm weak, then I am strong.
Paul's such a good dude. We've had so little of him this season.
What's it like to kill someone, Lee?
Alright.
What's it like to be in the room when the life goes out of person?
We're back around to Lee.
To clarify whether Mark Latimer was ever questioned by the police as a suspect. And yes, he was.
If they're asking those questions.
Doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Of course it does. They're going with the defense. They're sitting in there saying that I might be the killer.
Damn it. Because it's the penultimate episode. We're not going to get a verdict until next episode. Everybody's sitting waiting. Is it going to be this episode? That'd be interesting. Oh my god, the shot though.
What do you reckon?
We've won.
Ha.
Seriously, I mean, Jocelyn, she's great, but she's past it.
Abby. I wanted to say, I think you're a truly horrible person.
The jury are coming back in.
Oh boy. Wow. Good job, Ben. He just laid it down on her.
Madam Foreperson, please answer my first question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on this defendant upon which you are all agreed?
No.
Okay.
I can't do this.
So I would urge you to continue trying to reach a unanimous verdict. But I am prepared to accept a verdict upon which at least 10 of you are agreed. Would you please now go with the jury, bailiff? Thank you.
Okay, what the fuck was the point of that?
You came to ours for a barbecue. And the boys all went out playing football till it got dark. Halfway after it got dark.
Thank God we're talking again.
I could carry on playing. I can still see them all now. Danny, Mark, Tom, and Nige.
And Nige. And
Joe.
And Joe.
Memories are spoiled.
Well, okay. Just imagine instead of Joe, there's just a second Nige. He's basically that anyway.
I'm thinking of leaving Mark. It's not working. Even when this is over, it won't fix us. You know, we're not the same people anymore. Be careful though, Beth. You think you're alone in that marriage? You're not. It's nothing compared to being really alone.
Nah.
It's over, isn't it, between us?
I think it might be.
The parallel
How does it work?
of a shitty couple versus a... Well, we like Beth. And Mark has problems.
What will you do?
Go back to France, I suppose.
I'm so great about France.
Spoken like a true British person.
You're lucky I stopped there.
What did you say?
It's a joke.
It's a shit joke.
Thank God you never became a father.
Woo!
Where will you go?
You're so stupid.
But not to France.
What are you doing here?
You want the bloody pendant?
Have it. No. You took this. You had this all along!
There's a verdict. Jury are coming back in.
Oh no!
No, you're not leaving my sight. Come on.
Miller, you're on your own. Oh no, she's taking her in! What? He brought Claire and evidence into the car.
Is this the verdict of you all, or as a majority?
A majority.
The majority. That's okay.
The defendant, please stand. Do you find the defendant, Joseph Michael Miller, guilty or not guilty?
Come on. Give me something good. Oh, what if they just cliffhang here? Oh no! Oh, take it! Right at the last second I figured out what they're doing. No! Oh. Right at the last second, like my script brain like kicked in, like, wait a minute, they're gonna cliffhang this. Oh God. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that until like the last possible second, like, wait a minute, this is gonna be a cliffhanger. They cannot give us something good in the penultimate episode. So, at the very least, top of next episode, we're getting the verdict. And then the rest of the finale will be concerned with the Sandbrook case. Finishing up that. And then again, what is Season 3? What is Season 3? Is it just a new case? I don't know. I saw someone say that Chibnall always intended it to be 3 seasons. Like, he had planned out 3 seasons worth of story. But, in case they didn't get renewed for a second season, they left the first season, like, so, like, tight and closed-ended, so that if they didn't get the other 2 seasons, the first season's fine on its own, but because they did get the other 2 seasons, they can do the other 2 seasons. But man, what is Season 3 gonna be? Because we're basically wrapping up both parts of the plot, you know? Both parts of the plot, which is the trial of Joe Miller and the resolution of the Sandbrook case. We're still pretty positive that it's Lee. Unless it was just Lee and Claire, you know? Maybe they're lying for each other, you know? Like, instead of Claire lying for Lee because he killed Lisa and Pippa, or Lee covering for Claire because she did it. Maybe they both did it. I mean, there's 2 of them, and there are 2 girls, you know? There are 2 girls. Maybe Claire killed Lisa, and Lee killed Pippa, you know? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy now. Now I gotta wait a week. To see what is the verdict. What is the verdict? Just at the last second, my brain just like turned on again. I was like, wait a minute, this is the perfect opportunity to cliffhang. Sure enough. And it's by a majority. It's not a unanimous decision. If it was a unanimous decision, then we would have known, that Joe, which I'm kind of positive. I'm pretty positive that Joe is, going to be declared guilty. Like, I don't see them going for the whole Mark thing. One thing we got to talk about, and it's exactly what I talked about last episode. I'm having to switch to 2 different halves of my brain. So we're going to start with the Broadchurch stuff, and then I will talk a bit about the Sandbrook stuff. Even though, honestly, like the revelations of Sandbrook stuff have kind of been, like, getting, have been decreasing over time. I don't know. Whatever. But the Broadchurch stuff first. The Joe stuff first. I understand the defense and everything. And, you know me, I've seen Better Call Saul. This is exactly shit Saul Goodman would do for, like, Lalo, you know? Like, it is. It's exactly that, you know? That it's just, you know, I don't know what it is, like, proved beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know if that's the correct term for this, but, I mean, that's what the prosecution has to do. But that's the thing, is that all the defense has to do is to get that 1% of doubt, you know? They just have to get that 1%, you know? It is a 99% chance that Joe killed Danny. But that other 1%, it's possible, and that's what the defense has to do. They don't have to prove that Mark really did it. Mark is not on trial here, you know? Like, if the jury, you know, declares that Joe is innocent, you know, they're not going to immediately arrest Mark Latimer. I'm tired, apparently. They're not immediately going to arrest Mark because they haven't proved anything about Mark. They haven't proved that Mark did it. All they've proved is Joe didn't do it, you know? So that's the thing. You'd have to basically open up an entire other police investigation plus a whole other trial for Mark. So it's basically, like, again, it's not did Mark do it, but are we going to let Joe walk, you know? Are we going to let Joe walk? And that's part of it too, is that Bishop and Abby, they both know. They know Joe did it. They could see it. They were like, yeah, he did it. All you have to do is take one look at Joe Miller and realize he did it, you know? They don't care. They don't care that they're going to let a murderer free. They don't care. They're terrible people. They really are, like, really terrible. And, like, I'm sorry. All of my sympathy about Bishop's son has completely run out. Like, you don't get any more sympathy for that. You're trying with all the power you have to let a murderer walk free because you don't like the person going against you. Because you don't like, you know, the lawyer prosecuting. And just, it doesn't... Because that's the thing. It's like, when this started out, maybe she could have believed, like, okay, well, there are problems with the investigation, so who knows, maybe Joe didn't do it. But then, like, as soon as Jocelyn takes the case, it's like, well, now I have to do this. But the problem is, like, Bishop is in too deep at this point, you know? Bishop is in too deep at this point to where it's like, even when she knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that Joe did it by talking to him, yeah, she's in too deep. She has to keep going because she has her friggin' grudge, you know? I don't have any sympathy for Bishop and her son. Like, okay, like, maybe I have sympathy for the son if he was, you know, wrongfully convicted or something. Sure. I don't know. I just can't get behind that, you know? I just can't get behind this. And I'm so glad Ben is kind of an interesting character because he's always, you know, he's always second fiddle, you know? Like, anytime Ben is in a scene, Jocelyn is in the scene, and Jocelyn is just such a more interesting character, you know? Like, Jocelyn's great. She's honestly climbing the ladder of favorite characters here. I love, too, how they visualized her eyesight problem. Just this, you know, growing, like a smudge, basically. Like a growing smudge in the center of her vision, you know? So, yeah, but Ben, I like, because he does have some good moments here. And I do like when he goes over to Abby and is like, it's like, oh yeah, we've won the case, you know? And Jocelyn, I mean, she's good, but she's not at her best anymore, you know? She used to be good, but she's nothing anymore. And I like Ben just walks over and just, Abby, you're a horrible person. And just walks away. And that hit her. That hit her more than anything else, you know? Because last episode we had Lucy. It's like, oh, you should be ashamed of, you know, what you're doing. It's like, oh, we're going to win. We're going to let this murderer free. And I'm fucking your son. You're annoying ass fucking Ollie. Like, I'm in the list of characters in fiction that I hate with a seething passion. Ollie is now up there. Can we just say that? So, the actor's great though. The actor plays him perfectly, because if he didn't play him as good, I wouldn't hate him as much. But then I love that it's Ben who's just, Abby, you're a horrible person. And then he just walks away. And that got to her. It's like, you're just, you're such a shit. And Bishop is a shit too. Bishop is a shit because it's like, oh, I'm determined to, you know, like, my whole objective in this is to make sure that Jocelyn loses. When a child has been murdered, and the way that you win is letting a murderer go. Ugh. Man, I also hated that one fake out by the jury. Where it's like, oh, the jury came back, and then they're like, oh, so have you reached a verdict? No. Okay, next scene, and it's like, what the fuck? What was that? Yeah, because there was the clarification, but I don't think that was the same scene. You know, they talked about the one juror. I can't say that. I can't say words like that, like horror. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my accent, but. If whatever accent I have, I'm not even sure, honestly. But it could just be like, I can't say stuff like horror and juror. It's like that doesn't compute with my voice. But the one juror who was like, she didn't like Hardy when he was up there. She didn't know, she was shaking her head the whole time. It's like, what was wrong? Hardy had like the best, like. He was the best in the box, honestly. The boy knew what he was doing, you know? He answered everything very clearly and distinctly, and he also talked to the jury, you know? Meanwhile, Miller went up there a second time and blew it. Like, god damn it, Miller. Alright. Shift Sandbrook. So Claire was pregnant. I guess, ironically, the jury is still out on whether or not it was Lee's child. Probably, but I don't think it was Hardy's. It definitely was not Hardy's, but Hardy was there. Hardy was there for her when she had the abortion. Criminy. We had everything. We had Thorpe, who... I like how they put it together. It's like, well, wait, how would Lee Ashworth know about Gary Thorpe? And then they realize, oh... Lisa must have told him about Gary, which means they were really close, which puts everything back to Lee. All comes around. It's basically, we pretty much know it's Lee, but who else is involved in the Sandbrook murder? Most likely, Claire. So yeah. So there was that. And then yeah, is it Ricky? It could have been Ricky too. It probably wasn't Kate, considering they haven't really focused on her that much, but is probably... You could probably put Ricky in there too. I don't know. Maybe they had threesomes. Who knew? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, there's an ever-growing list of people who was banging Claire, so... Nah. I'm just, you know... I guess we just gotta be grateful. I don't think we can add Paul to that list. That was crazy. I don't know why... Like, because I've, like, separated church and state on this, you know, I've separated Sandbrook and Broadchurch so much that when Paul shows up and talks to Claire, I'm like, oh god, look at this crossover, you know? Because every scene, like, is that a bug, or is that just a piece of crap? Well, it's gone now. Sorry, there was like the tiniest speck on my notebook. I think it was just a little speck of dust or something, but anyway. But that honestly felt like a crossover when it's like, oh, hey, here's, you know, a Broadchurch character. They haven't met Claire, you know? And it's the same thing, like, earlier in the season when you have, like, it's like, oh, we've got the meeting, you know, between Lee and Claire. And then Beth comes over and it's like, wait, I can't separate this. I can't separate this in my head. But yeah. But Claire gave the pendant to Hardy. She had it the whole time. She's the one who took it. And then, and I like how, I get that it's like, yeah, he can't let Claire out of his sight now. But taking her into the courtroom when they're giving the verdict on Joe, it's like, oh my god, it's terrible, but Hardy's gotta be there, you know? Hardy's gotta be there, so. And then Lee needs to get the hell out of there. Lee needs to run, like, right now. Head off to France, you know? I also love Claire saying, like, so what's so bloody good about France? And it's like, yeah, a British person would say that, you know? Like, look, honestly, like, you know, I'm gonna, just, I guess as a quick aside, I do eventually want to go to the UK someday. I know my dad does. I want to go to the UK someday, you know, for a vacation, or, you know, several, because, you know, pretty sure you can't get the most out of the UK in one vacation, you know. But France, that's like next on the list, basically. Like, I want to go to France, go to Paris, go to Versailles and stuff like that, you know. So, but a true British person, they'd be like, what's so bloody good about France? Like, yeah, you would say that, but that was funny. So yeah, Lee, he better get the hell out of there. He needs to go to New Mexico, go to Best Quality Vacuum, get himself a new name. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. Oh, and also there was that moment between Jocelyn and Maggie, which I thought about that after that episode. I was like, oh, maybe it's Maggie, you know, because they have this interesting connection, you know. And yeah, sure enough, it was Maggie. That's the person she was in love with. And so, oh, is it too late now? Maybe it's not. I will say, because I mean, I guess there's no real fault in, you know, in what happened between them, but the whole thing of like, oh, I knew, but, you know, I was waiting for you to say something, but your work consumed you. It's like, well, you could have also made an effort, like meet her halfway, you know? Meet her halfway, and then you don't know if her work would have consumed her after that, you know? Like, you guys could have had a life if you took the initiative as well. I understand, yes, Jocelyn should have taken the initiative with Maggie, but Maggie, like, this is a two-way street. Like, you should probably take some initiative there too, you know? Or at least, even if you don't outright say it, you know, give her some good nudges, you know, to where she would do that. Don't just, you know, cold turkey, like, well, she does it, if not, you know? But it's like, I don't know. So yeah, I'm slightly conflicted on that, but honestly, it's not like it matters. That's like the least important thing to talk about with this episode, unfortunately, but yeah. Anywho, we have one more episode. What a great cliffhanger that was. I'm excited to see where we are going next time. But that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Broadchurch reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.